Good. How y'all all? Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. Already hump day, folks. Golly. Times are flying, man. We passed mid-October. We're less than 3 weeks away from the election. I mean, as soon as the election's over, we'll hit Thanksgiving, Brandon, and then we'll turn around and have another election.
Absolutely. In December.
And Louisiana, it's just what month it is. We'll tell you what election it is. So we'll see what happens. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, it's your opportunity to be a voice.
Yeah, I wish when you go early vote, they let you get it all done, get all November and December done in one vote.
Well, I know that in a simpler world, it probably would work that way, Brandon. It may work like that one day. Yeah. Once the runoff, Brandon, with technology, think about what I'm getting ready to tell you. With technology, why can't you have the November election one day, and after everything's sorted out, about a week later, you just go on and go back and vote again?
Well, everybody's still in the mode of voting.
Everybody's still in the same mode. There's no doubt about it. Anyway, great to have you with us. Democrats outraging Republicans. Yeah, you know why? They had a head start of about 60 miles long because everybody thought they were going to win everything, and they may. Who knows? I mean, I can't make that prediction. You see polls, you read all that. I don't live in Indiana. I don't live in Pennsylvania. I know what's happening with our elections as far as representatives and congressmen. But I don't know what's happening in these other states. And it's all about who goes vote anyway. A poll means nothing until after the election. That's the only poll that will ever matter is when elections are dead and done. So anyway, we'll see what happens. By the way, I don't know if anybody got any. I did not see. I only read a little bit about Cruz and Rourke. Rourke, or however you say his name. Beto. Beto's down about 10. And the only thing I read was that he was really ugly. You could tell he was losing. He had to go low. And Cruz, one of the couple of ones I read, mopped him up and ate him up. So I don't know because I didn't see it. Okay, I'd have loved to have watched it. I didn't know if he was on TV last night. So didn't really go looking for it when you had baseball games all over the place. So kind of enjoyed some of the baseball games last night. But anyway, so I didn't see that. I can only go by what I read. I'm sure Democrats, they've sent that guy so much money. Brandon, give you an example. Democrats outraged Republicans. They sent $38 million to Beto, or whatever his name is. So they sent a lot of money to that place, and that counts as the overall, the overall deal. By the way, they keep putting in the headlines that Trump, AP, he won't take the blame if they lose. That's not what he said, Brandon. It's not what he said at all. They asked him about, look, and there it says, they asked him about it's some responsibility if they lose. He said, no. He said, I think the people are pumped up. I'm out there visiting with people. He said, I think I'm helping us win. Something along that line. He never said, no, I'm not taking responsibility. He never said that. But the headlines, even Drudge had the headlines that he said that something he did not say. And you can go look and pull up what he said, but typical press puts out, oh, no, not my fault. That's not what he said. They asked him a question. He said, no. He said, I think we're doing well. He said, I'm out there. There's big crowds. Enthusiasm is heavy. And, Brandon, it is for him. Will it turn into for Republicans? We don't know that. It's less than 3 weeks away. I'm like y'all. Be glad when all this is over. Now, remember, in these other states, there will be no runoffs, Brandon. This is it. We are the banana republic. We're not going to have runoffs either in the congressional races. I don't think there's one out there. But what I mean by that is that in these other states, they do closed primaries. So the Republican against the Democrat is it. And even if there's a third party, a third race out there, then a plurality will win it. It will be over everywhere. And the reason it's going to be over here is I just don't think, to run. Brandon, have you seen one advertisement in our congressional district on TV, radio, anything? Nope. Okay. And the
nope, not on TV. Now, radio now in our congressional district. Clay Higgins is running.
But he's an incumbent. But what I meant to ask, I guess, is have you seen anybody challenging an incumbent running advertisement anywhere? No. Now, I don't live in all parts of the state. I just live in Lafayette. Right. But I travel the state, and I hadn't heard one ad on radio. I hadn't seen one on TV. Not one. Now, with less than 3 weeks left.
It's all on Facebook.
Yeah, that ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
I think Facebook and social media are important, but they're not the biggest part of it. And I've been telling people that for a while. You can do all just Facebook, all you want to. You got to have some media buys and be out in the public, and that's not going on. So how do you expect to beat an incumbent? Go in these districts all over the country. And see the type of advertisement that's being run. Okay? And then you'll find out there's elections going on. Even our Secretary of State, we do have some advertisement running, but not a bunch. Not a bunch at all. So, that's an interesting race right now at this point. Because nobody knows what's going to happen. What is the voter turnout going to be here? And the voter turnout here is not going to be great. I heard somebody say 20-25%. I don't see that. I don't see 20-25% turnout in the races here. I don't. I mean, I see 15%, 17%. Probably some areas not that good. So I don't know where all these people are coming from to vote, and you got to have a lot of voters to go unseat a particular candidate. But in the Secretary of State's race, it's going to be the one that's interesting. I think what you'll see is about a 2-week race, Brandon. Some have already been on the radio, but some are just going to go TV, radio, and they'll do it all in the last couple of weeks. So we do have an election, folks. It's less than 3 weeks away. 844-766-6607. Hickson has it hotline. By the way, when you read the headlines, Trump tells AP he won't accept blame. He never said that. Go read it for yourself. He never, ever said that. He said no, and then he went on to talk about all these rallies and things that he was doing. Enthusiasm gap is way up, and it is. And if you look at ABC, ABC, Washington Post poll, Wall Street Journal, whatever it is, in the battleground states, and that's what people look at, Republicans were enthusiastic vote up 47-46. They were down 11 points a few weeks ago. Those are the districts people are looking at. They're not looking at. By the way, Brandon, it's not one of those districts in Louisiana that they're looking at to change. We got 5 Republicans and 1 Democrat, and those races are all going 5 Republicans and 1 Democrat. So they're not even counted in the real races of what we're looking for and see what's going to happen in this thing. So time will tell. We'll see what happens. It's getting close. I am curious the Secretary of State's race. I keep reading it. The key is what Julie Stokes does with the $500,000 she gave her campaign in the Secretary of State's race, the liberal Republican, and Bell Edwards floor leader to pound Republicans, to go to the press and pound Republicans. She has a $500,000. She gave herself $250,000 of it. They act like she raised all this money. No, she did. She gave her campaign $250,000. And she's the biggest fake Republican conservative there is. And all you got to go is look at her record. And one of the records that won't show up, but I've showed you this over and over again, is that she is the one that pounded conservative Republicans. Anybody who don't believe me, get in touch with Alan Seaball and see what she did. Go find out what she did. She pounded on Republicans for John Bell Edwards. Okay? Pounded conservatives. Pounded the Republicans. That's the kind of stuff. So if you got Republicans voting for her, they probably because they don't know better. And it needs to be explained to her. Because she does not need to even make the runoff. It's a bad mistake. She's trying to set her up to be Miss Governor one day. And she's a CPA. Did I tell you she was a CPA, Brandon? Okay, good. I wanted to make her. She's telling everybody, like, I'm a CPA. I know how to do numbers better than y'all. First thing she did when she got elected was she went to the Republican caucus and said, we need to put the Stelly bill back on the bill. In other words, we need to increase income taxes. Folks, this is true. And she's been a liberal since she's been there. And she's a liberal's liberal. And when she talks about, I'm one of the ones that wanted to do a budget and change the tax system, she wanted to increase taxes on you. Because there's not one of them yet I saw that talk about tax reform where they don't mean government will get more money. That's tax reform in their minds and hearts. And she's one of them. Secretary of State ain't got nothing to do with taxes. No, it's got a lot to do with voting. It's got a lot to do with doing things that are right. And if you're siding with the left, the George Soros side, and you won't even now she's now answered the question. She was not saying, and she was not giving an answer when somebody said, should you register to vote and vote the same day, which is a no-no. She wouldn't even answer that. No, I wouldn't be for that. Well, why? Because she's getting tagged for it. Because she was one of the only Republicans who would not answer that. Because she don't feel that way. She kind of feels like the McCaskill in Missouri. Let's just lie. What happens when people question it? Well, we just tell them to get over it. And it's trial lawyers that are starting to put money in the campaign. You know, the same ones that helped Bill Edwards. All right, we got to take a break. More to come, a lot more to come. Births outside marriage rise in the U.S. I've been telling y'all that's been the problem. I've been telling y'all that for 20 years. Out of wedlock births, destroying our country. How can you say something like that? I just did because it's true. It affects everything. Let me take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Let's go to Kenneth in Longview. Kenneth, how you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well, Moon. I've been a long-time listener and talked to you a few times. Long story short, just wanted to find out, did you get to see the whole debate from with Cruz and Beto?
No, I caught bits and pieces of it, and I wanted somebody to call in that maybe could have watched that and told me what they thought about it.
Well, I caught excerpts from it. I was over in DFW area last night and was listening to one of your cohorts, Chris Kroc, and I'm not a big fan of him, but he did treat Cruz real fair, and from what I heard, different callers calling in, Cruz did school him because he is a master debater, but also, you know, for you folks that don't realize what Mr. Cruz did before he got in the Senate for Texas, he really protected our gun rights, and he's always, you know, he's been a pro-Second Amendment, and you know what Beto's going to do if he gets in there, so just folks that like to hunt and fish, or hunt, rather, you know, you need to be thinking about your voting, because
but don't you
your
think,
Second Amendment.
Don't you think, I was looking at polls, he's anywhere from 9 to 11 points up. And I'll be honest with you, you can't really win a debate. You can lose it. If Cruz didn't lose a debate, then Texans ought to come through and vote the way they ought to vote.
Oh, I'm sure they will, but you know what folks don't realize, that the Democrats are spending a lot of money in Texas trying to turn Texas blue. And you know, all you folks that have moved to Texas, the reason Texas is great is because we vote hard.
Yeah, it's amazing. They keep saying that the Democrats have raised most money, but they have dumped an awful lot of money in that Senate race. Awful lot of money in that Senate race.
Well, they know if they can get one senator, they're relentless. Now, I'm not a huge Republican fan because I don't like either one of them personally, but the Republicans do have a pretty good record of standing up for most of our constitutional rights anyway.
Yep. All right, man, we'll be interested to see what happens. It ain't long. 3 weeks will be here with a blink. So anyway, appreciate the call, 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Conrad in Lafayette. How you doing, Conrad?
Good morning to you, Moon.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the radio ads, listening to your show yesterday, I heard an ad for the Secretary of State's race come on, and it was extremely negative against the incumbent, and it wasn't our dear friend Nancy Pelosi that did it either.
No, I've been listening to ads, too. I've been listening to the same ads you have.
I couldn't believe that a supposedly conservative Republican would go negative that quick.
Well, it's I'm not going to defend or say good or bad. I'm just going to say it's not that quick. I mean, it's 3 weeks left to the election. I figured we were going to see something like that sooner or later. The big fight, though, is can you make the runoff? And see, there's two ways to look at this. if you look at it as a Democrat and Republican to be in a runoff, then Republicans are fighting for one spot. But for the Democrat to make the runoff, they got to get a majority of the black vote. You got to get a decent black vote turnout. Because, as you know, they vote 95% Democrat, no matter what the candidate is, no matter what they stand for, no matter what they say, no matter who they are, they vote that way. So if they turn out any kind of numbers, you're going to see a Democrat-Republican runoff. So you're really trying to beat a Republican at that point. If you have two Republicans, then it makes it for a different ball game. I know what you're thinking is, what happens if you're not in a runoff and you have advertisement and stuff like that? What's going to end up happening in a runoff if you do get in there with the wrong Republican or a Democrat? So, and that's the point, Conrad. I have no idea at this point. I never want to hear the name Jay Darden again for what he did to Vitter. And trust me, that was the key. He got his 237.
I didn't want to hear his name even before that. I was sick of him even before that.
Well, Jay Darden was always just well-liked in Baton Rouge and with the media. Jim Beam and people like that love Jay Darden. And they've never accomplished anything. They never did anything. But they're smarter than God. And they're not. And they never have been. And Darden has been a leftist from the heart. He's a social leftist, and he's a fiscal leftist. Those are facts. He doesn't have any conservatism whatsoever. They keep talking about his budget. Biggest budget in the history of the Louisiana. One of the biggest tax increase we ever had. That's a conservative Republican?
Yeah, well, you know what the expression is. He's a legend in his own mind.
Yeah. Well, some of the people in the press still like him. People in Baton Rouge still like him. And I'm just laughing because he got less than 15% of the vote. Once he got into big leagues, I knew he was going down. And he went down hard. But he decided to take everybody else down at $237,500 a year and a retirement between $14,000 and $18,000 a month the rest of his life. I guess he figured, I'm going down, but I'm going to be right back up soon. Anyway, got to run. Appreciate the call. A lot more to come. The Moon Griffon Show. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has that hotline. By the way, and I'm looking for this. Somebody out there that can find me and Brandon's searching. We're coming up with all kind of numbers. Unemployment rate declined in September to 3.7% in the United States. Ours had gone up 5 straight months to 5%. Okay. Now, normally after the unemployment rate for the country comes out, a week or so later you get the unemployment rate per state. And I want to know, is our state going along with the country, and are we stopping the hemorrhaging of jobs? Because our unemployment rate was going up while the rest of the country was going down. We were at 5%, third highest in the country. And I know people in Baton Rouge read all this mess from the papers and go, and they get this from Bell Edwards, and these people go around and talk about how great it is, and yet I'm trying to find how great it is. Okay? I know this unemployment. I even read Lawrence Scott said, don't even worry about the unemployment rate. What? That's not true. You know, and I know he works for government. I know a lot of people believe in what he says. But my point being is, it does matter. How many people would rather be going up or down? I mean, you know, Trump got in office, unemployment rate was 4.6%. It's down to 3.7%. It's basically almost declined every single month since he's been in office. Some of it stayed the same and then went down. Well, what I'm looking for is what's going on in Louisiana. To me, that would make a difference. I would love to see what's going on in Louisiana. I can't find it. I'm looking for September numbers.
So looking at a last article that was written about this on September 21st, they went by the Bureau of Labor Statistics numbers that showed Louisiana going from 4.9% in July and went to 5% in August, which is what I was showing you earlier with the Labor Bureau Statistics.
Yeah, it went.
But then if you look at the other one that I sent you, which was, I'm trying to find it.
I saw one that had it at 5.4. You saw us had one at 5.5.
Yeah, LouisianaWorks.net, Louisiana Workforce Commission. They had the unemployment rate at
5.5.
5.5. Yep.
But I'm just kind of curious on the one that does the national. Where are we? I think it's important, and I would like to know. So if anybody could find it, let me know. I know it hadn't popped up in a newspaper yet. It hadn't popped up on TV yet that I've seen it. And I wanted to see if we will start trending with the country. We've been trending against the country. We were one of a few states that still have a migration problem. We're one of the few states that unemployment rate's going up. We're one of the few places that are not creating the type jobs that everybody else is creating. And we're the only state that has a governor, when you talk about the economy, brags about Medicaid expansion as expanding jobs in the state of Louisiana. He's the only one saying it. Nobody else is bragging about Medicaid as expanding jobs. No one, except Bell Edwards in the press corps in Louisiana. Some of them, not all of them. They're the only ones bragging. We've got Medicaid expansion. We're increasing jobs in the state of Louisiana. So get money from the federal government, expand Medicaid, hook more people on government insurance. And it's not insurance. Somebody, please don't call me. Medicaid is not insurance. I understand that. That's just a slip of the tongue, but it's their health care provider. And so it kind of blows my mind that we're bragging about Medicaid increasing our jobs. Everybody else is talking about manufacturing, their business is booming, oil and gas booming in other states. Not here. No. Matter of fact, they did a little advocate editorial, digging deep to explain policies of all lawsuits. Plaquemine Parish, which is one of the parishes that's suing all companies, the parish council, over damage to wetlands, which, by the way, all companies have nothing to do with it. But they can't sue weather. They can't sue a hurricane. They got to find somebody to sue. They look at all companies and go, y'all got a lot of money. We're going to sue y'all. And this is why people won't come down here and invest. They voted to withdraw, Brandon, the suit. But it was 4-3. But since there's 9-member council, they needed 5 votes. So the suit's still on now. John Camush, the lead attorney in going after oil and gas companies left and right. Left and right. And by the way, he was the one, his firm spent $2 million airing television ads attacking Vitter. The ads were effective and they weakened Vitter and helped John Bell Edwards, an ally of trial lawyers who has pushed parishes to sue. Bell Edwards helped create the environment we have in the oil and gas industry with his law buddies. And they say whether a community should sue its leading employer is a key question. And the decision doesn't belong to the lawyers or the politicians. It belongs to the voters. Well, when you voted for Bell Edwards, you voted to sue the oil and gas companies. Now, I talk to people in oil and gas every day because I live amongst them. And I'm telling you right now, they want Edwards out because they know dang good and well the problems come from his lawyer buddies and him. When Don Briggs was on this program, he mentioned that there were 2 New York investors came down here to invest back in the oil and gas industry a few years ago. I don't know if Don's listening today, but he could tell a story if he was. And Don said they came here, and when they found out that the governor had his people teaming up with parishes who have benefited from oil and gas all these years, and their people have benefited from it, okay, were suing oil and gas and this Carmouche fella, and led by him. And the governor teamed up for the suits and told them, you need to sue now, and encouraged them. They said, the heck with that, we're not spending another penny here. None. Zero. Zilch. So you got parishes. These people don't realize on the council how much the oil and gas benefited the taxpayers. They don't realize how much it benefited people and families with good jobs. And they don't realize the number of people we have. And by the way, we'll do it tomorrow. Rob Kirkpatrick, who was a program director here at KPL, he went to Midland. And KPL has it on the website today. But he's got it broke up in different pieces, so it's going to be coming out. Rob will join us tomorrow. He went over and interviewed these people. And he interviewed people that live here and work there. And how great it's doing over there compared to here. And this is where our workers are going. A lot of them 21 days at work, 7 days home. So, you know, what's been done to the oil and gas industry by Bell Edwards and his lawsuit buddies set us back 20 years. What they did to our budget and taking all his Medicaid money has set us back 10 or 20 years. I'm convinced Bell Edwards has set us back minimum of 10 years. Minimum. Him and co-governor Dorton. There's no reason our oil companies couldn't make it here. But anyway, we'll do that tomorrow. We'll get a chance at 9:06. We'll bring in Rob tomorrow. By the way, Billy Justice of Vantage Healthcare will join us at 10:06. There's another insurance company out there you need to know about. We'll talk to them about healthcare, insurance, and what's going on in the state of Louisiana coming out of the 10 o'clock break. Don't go nowhere. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. We'll take a break. Be right back. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607. Hickson has a hotline. Don't forget Billy Justice, Vantage Healthcare, which is the other insurance company. If you're looking for health care, you can give them a call, but you'll get to hear from Billy about what they're doing in their company. By the way, just in a note, I've used Vantage, and that was what my wife was insurance when they first started. And when we went through all the stuff with Maddie, it was Vantage Healthcare that was there for us. They were there, and they took care of us. And I'm going to tell you what, they did some things that was really special. But anyway, we'll talk to Justice as the program unfolds. All right. Louisiana unemployment rate. By the way, they hadn't released Louisiana or the state by state yet. But last month, Louisiana unemployment rate hit 5% in August, worsening for the fifth straight month. State jobless rate went from 4.9 to 5. For the third month in a row, Louisiana saw the number of people with a job declined faster than the shrinking workforce, pushing the number of unemployed people up to nearly 107,000 people. State separate employer payroll number said we were flat. So, and we got the third highest jobless rate among states. But they keep trying to tell us, oh, no, don't pay no attention to that. I think it's important. You know, I would think it would start falling one day because the national economy has been booming. You would think Louisiana would follow it. We're not being led by the governor. We're not being led by anybody. You'd think we would follow every now and then in the right direction. We hadn't followed the right direction when it comes to jobs, and we still have a bad out-migration problem. Those are just the facts, whether you want to deal with them or not. Births outside of marriage rise in the U.S. and the EU. Increasing number of births happen outside of marriage, signaling cultural and economic shifts that are here to stay, according to a new report for the United States. By the way, I've been telling y'all this for many, many, many years. I think the biggest problem we have here has been babies out of wedlock. Well, I guess killing babies and abortion, 61 million is the worst deal, but this is second. But what's happening there is because we don't have a moral code, because we keep God, Christianity, and all that stuff out, then everybody just has babies, and that's what we spotlight. And it's hard to raise a kid. I've had to raise 4 of them. I'm telling you, it's hard with you and your wife. It's next to impossible trying to raise a kid when you're a kid. We had 40% of U.S. births, 60% in the EU occur outside of wedlock, and they got more problems than us. The EU likely sees more births out of wedlock. You know why? Because many member countries have welfare systems that support gender-balanced child care. We got the same thing. What do you want to do, Griffon? Kill them? No, y'all doing that before they get here. It's called the Democrat Party. But what I'm saying is, when you have a baby, it takes 2 loving people to love that baby. It's hard on a family when you start having several kids. It is. I'm as good an expert on raising a kid as anybody, Brandon. We've had babies, we've had to raise them. We've had to put them through school and put them through college and everything else. Done it. Still doing it, by the way. Probably done it longer than most. But my point being is I'm an expert on having babies. I'm as good as anybody else can write anything. Now, I'm telling you, raising a family's tough. It's hard work. And if you're having most of the babies out of wedlock, it's really hard. And I'm not going to say impossible, but it's tough. But it's why we have the cultural problems we have. It's why we're having the problems we have in schools. Now, you can get mad for me saying that. It's a fact. Now, are there moms or dads raising their kids by themselves doing a heck of a job? Absolutely. Always an exception to the rule. But that's not the norm. And these little boys that we raise need a daddy with a firm hand in the house. And it's not to be overbearing, but it's to help the mama raise the kids. And that's another big problem that nobody wants to talk about. I believe it's happening worse in the EU, and I think they have bigger problems than we have. But we're getting there. We're getting there, folks. And so when I see a number like this, it's a cultural shift. They're correct. It's a cultural shift because we're getting away from the way we ought to be as a country. And we glorify this stuff. Because we don't want to glorify right anymore. It's like my buddies often told me, things are flipping. We're glorifying now babies out of wedlock. This is the way you do it. And it causes more problems, is what it does, in the schools especially. Not 100%, but a big percentage. Brandon, you don't have any kids? One day when kids come along, maybe 2, 3, 7, whatever you're going to have. 8.
2.
But my point being, when they come along,
yeah,
and you get into where you're 2 babies, and they get a little older and they get to school, you'll sit down and you'll be an expert on kids because you'd have had to go through every strain and stress. They're little stresses. They're blessings.
Well, experience is oftentimes life's best teacher.
No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And then you talk to a single mom, one that had babies at 20 years old or 15 or 18 years old, and if they'll be honest with you, they'll tell a lot of it's been living hell. And I'll tell you right now, you don't want the government to depend on your food and your diapers and everything else that happens. So government grows, government becomes daddy, and we have the problems that we have. We have a cultural war going on. There's some people think that what I'm saying is absolutely hateful. It's not hateful. Matter of fact, we're a loving country. We're giving people food and shelter and clothing and educating them and giving them free health care. But it becomes a burden on society. I had 4 kids. I had to raise 4 kids. Some people had 8 and 10 and 12. Some people didn't want any. But the burden for me is to raise my kids. It's not to raise yours. And neither should all my tax dollars go to yours. I'm trying to raise mine and put them through school and put money back. Brother, I get to retire one day, we'll see. Nobody wants to talk about this. But it's a fact. This is the biggest cultural change we had in this country has been out of wedlock children. I'm sorry, it has been, and it's been a problem. It's not been a great thing. If people are saying that was an experiment, quit it, because it don't work. That is, Brandon, that's the debate they had. Showdown in San Antonio, second cruise, O'Rourke debate turns fiery. And by the way, I expect it to be. So, anyway. All right, let's go to phone lines. Go to Tony. Tony in Monroe. Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about y'all?
I'm doing fine, sir.
But anyway, what I want to talk about, back when I was, before I retired, I'd work and got 40 hours a week. But during the Clinton administration, they changed everything to temporary. And right now, they only get 15, 20 hours a week. And then they got a lot of people. I was at Target and this last weekend, and I talked to this little girl at the cashier, and they had several people being hired. And I asked her, y'all got a lot of business? She said, no, we don't need them. I only get 20 hours a week. I don't know why they hire them. They won't give us 40 hours. Because that cuts down on the benefits. They're not saving money, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
but
what's happening is people are getting benefits. They don't want to lose that. So they only want to make a certain amount of money so they can make money and get all the benefits because it adds up to more than what they would make. And that's what's happened. That's what Obamacare did when they talk about Obamacare. Go get Obamacare. You're getting subsidized if you don't make us under $94,000 because now you're hooked. You're hooked on a policy. Yeah. Now, some of that's gotten expensive, too, but it's hooked on a policy that they got you hooked on government. Now you need us. You need government. You need health care.
Yeah. Yeah. But she was frustrated. She said, I can't survive. She said she got one little baby, and she had to move back with her mom because she's not making enough money to survive.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. And I went to 5 different stores, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, Target, and the same thing. I talked to the little girls up there, and they're frustrated because they can't get any hours.
Well,
and so if they have to go around and find another job just to survive.
Yeah.
So it's a shame. But that's went wrong with Obama and the Clinton administration. And it's same way with
Obama got more people on food stamps. More people went to welfare. More people went to disability. And then the unemployment rate came down because people quit looking for work. And they started saying, well, we're creating jobs. Yeah, minimum wage jobs. It's unbelievable. Anyway, we got to run. Appreciate the call, Tony. We got to roll. Billy Justice, Vantage Healthcare. Learn more about them when we get. All right, we're going to jump gear. I've been announcing, there's more than one healthcare company in this state of Louisiana, and I really know this one because they helped us tremendously. And it's a Vantage Health Plan. And, of course, Billy Justice, who is the marketing sales director for them. Been knowing Billy a long time. Billy, how you doing?
Hey, Moon, how are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Man, I appreciate you being part of it. Yeah, I've bragged about you guys and Dr. Jones and y'all for a long, long time because y'all were there when we started all the problems with Maddie. And I mean that sincerely. And I told Tanya last night, I said, I can always brag about Vantage because Vantage Healthcare was there when we needed y'all, when we didn't know what was happening with our little girl. And I'm going to say this up front. Vantage Healthcare is the one that stepped up and said, Moon, we got you covered, buddy. And everything we needed was done. And it's a big, I don't even know if you were there then, Billy, but I know Dr. Jones was there and all that, and they made sure everything was taken care of.
Yeah, well, I remember Maddie very well. I've been there 23 years. I wrote the first fully insured policy we ever sold.
Well, that's about right because Maddie just turned 23. So, yeah, you probably were there from day one.
Yeah.
And I came across you in other avenues, but I knew you from Vantage. But I want to put that out there. But talk a little bit about Vantage. And it's a state, in the great state of Louisiana and things that people don't know about you guys. That y'all been around for a while. And talk about y'all. And I know y'all cover everything in the state now.
Yeah. Well, we're in our 24th year. We started this company in December of 1994. A lot of people don't know that. We started up in Monroe. We've been trying to grow this thing just to get it as big as the Moon Griffon show. If we could hit the markets Moon Griffon's in, we would be somebody.
Well.
But we've grown this little company over the last 24 years, and it's been really exciting, man. We're in the group health insurance business. We're one of, I think, Vantage and Blue Cross were the only two that survived the Obamacare individual exchange marketplace, and so we're still on that. But we also offer our Medicare Advantage product, and also we have for both active state employees covered by the Office of Group Benefits and those retirees for the Office Group Benefits. We're an option for them as well throughout the entire state of Louisiana. So we're operating in every parish. We started up in Monroe, and most people start in the south and grow north. We started in North Louisiana, and we've grown, and we're active in the south part of the state now.
Well, Billy, you grew just like me. I started up north and grew south, and then I moved south. You're doing the same thing. But I want people to know about you guys because you're very competitive in all the areas that you cover insurance. There's nowhere you can't sell. Somebody may be going down the road. So I've heard of them, but they always hear the big one that's been around a while. But you guys are big enough to handle a lot of stuff. Talk a little bit about the products that y'all can sell to help people with. Like, do you do companies? Do you do company benefits like, writing insurance for big companies?
Yeah. Well, we like to say we've got, as long as you got a belly button, we got something for you. But yeah, we do, group health insurance, 2 employees on up. So we've got several national companies that we insure. And the good thing, this plan covers you when you travel and, when you're traveling around the United States. So you've got some good coverage when you're. We also cover things like MD Anderson, University of Alabama at Birmingham, St. Jude's, several transplant facilities around the country that people would like to go to for things that may not be able to be treated here in Louisiana. But our network has really, really grown throughout the entire state. So we have a significant number of doctors and hospitals that are working with us. And, you know, I think what a lot of people out there don't realize is that we're working really hard with the physicians and the hospitals. And the payments oftentimes are set up not based on the quantity of care, but the quality of care. And I tell you, the hospitals around this state and many of the doctors have really stepped up to help try to improve the quality and reduce the cost. I know it's always getting more expensive because procedures are getting more expensive and new devices and new medicines are coming out that drive up costs. But I really have to hand it, our medical community is doing a really good job of trying to really work with us to help reduce those costs and improve the quality.
Yeah, so you got something, like you said, a little bit for everybody. Talk a little bit. I know, are we in a sign-up period now for things like Medicare and insurance and things of that nature?
Yes. Well, as you know, October 15th through December 7th, that's the time when every Medicare member needs to look at what they're doing for the upcoming year. And the competition, what's really exciting about it, the competition is more fierce than ever. If you look at the Medicare Advantage plans, most parishes now have 4 to 6 Medicare Advantage plans competing for your business. It's driving down the cost of what co-payments normally are, and it's driving up the extra benefits. We've now incorporated dental and vision, transportation benefits that are available through our Medicare Advantage plan. Ours has a free prescription drug card, so those that have to pay for their prescription drug coverage, we have a free prescription card that comes with that. Gym memberships are available at no charge. So we're doing several things to keep these members healthy. But, you know, Moon, we do about 4,000 home visits annually for people who can't get out of their house, need to have a health risk assessment done. We have a lot of our diabetic patients that need eye exams. We can do the eye exams there in the living room and then shoot the pictures there and then send the pictures to the physicians once we get them back to the office. So we're doing a lot of things to try to keep people healthy, but there are several people that may need a ride to the doctor or so forth. We have a transportation benefit. But all these measures that we're meeting for Medicare, we've taken all those and put them on our group side too. So when we sit down with these employers, we're trying to explain to them what we do that we feel makes Vantage different and helping improve the quality and reduce the cost and working with each individual employee and that employee's physician to help do that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We're talking to Billy Justice. He is the Marketing and Sales Director for Vantage Health Plan for you folks that are looking for another alternative way to get your health care taken care of. This is the people that do it. Like I said, I had a great rapport with them. They really did a wonderful job. Hey, Billy, going back to companies and group, do you write individual policies? Do you just write group policies? How does that work?
No, we do write individual policies. We're on the healthcare exchange. Okay. So I always say that song, there's 50 ways to leave your lover, but there ain't but 2 ways to get individual insurance in Louisiana, and it's with Blue Cross and Vantage currently.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But the companies,
so some people qualify for subsidies, and we can help them for those that qualify for the subsidies because of their income. Those that don't, we think we have a very competitive product that's out there, and they definitely need to look at that. I will also say for those that are state employees that are covered for the office group benefits, and also those retirees that are offered the state, you know, our plans have a dental benefit in it now, dental insurance for no extra premium. That ought to be really exciting for all. And when we talk about state employees, you're talking about people that work for the universities, teachers, transportation department, all those that are covered through the office group benefits. You really need to look at Vantage this year. There's some extra benefits that you normally don't get, and our price looks really, really good for those as well. Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, so you got a little bit of everything for everybody. Number 2 is what's the best way to get in touch with you guys? Is it just go to a website? What's the best way to talk to you guys and get somebody on the line? If you go to VantageHealthPlan.com and go to the contact us there, you can send in an email inquiry right there, which is answered pretty rapidly, but also you can call our 888-823-1910. We answer the phone. So what we like and what we think makes us special is, we got between Affinity Health Group and Vantage, we have about 1,400 employees in the state of Louisiana now, but when you call our customer service, you're calling representatives in Louisiana. You may get our Shreveport office, our Baton Rouge, or Monroe office. So we have an office now in Hammond and several little offices around northeast Louisiana and some of the rural communities. Mm-hmm. So where people can go into a little office right there and get help in the rural areas. But VantageHealthPlan.com or 888-823-1910. And we would love to talk to anyone who's looking for health insurance. If they got a belly button, we got something for them.
Yeah, but I mean, you're all over the place. So if somebody from Homer, not Homer, but Homer, Louisiana, Thibodaux, or Slidell, Louisiana calls, you got agents. You can send them. You can help them. You can help them work through their health care needs.
Exactly. And for those that have group health insurance, your current agent needs to call Vantage and make sure that Vantage gets you a quote whenever they're shopping their health insurance. But we're operating in every single parish, man.
Okay, well,
every single parish.
Well, that's 64 parishes, and so that gets you to cover everything you need to cover. You do groups, you do individuals, people that need help. You got that covered. Medicare sign up is now, so you need people that want to find out. By the way, Billy, just because I'm curious, like I know we got another provider, but if they call y'all, are you going to have something different than them? Or they going to have something different than y'all? Or if somebody's looking at something else, can they come to y'all?
We feel that our products, some products we may have may be similar, but we have some products that we feel make us unique.
Okay.
And it's some special things built in. There's, all of our plans cover dental cleanings to get your teeth cleaned. For no extra premium. And then, like I said, for the state employees, there's actually an extra dental benefit for comprehensive dental, fillings, extractions, those types of things that's available for them, and they have no extra premium for that. So, our products are unique, and we build them towards the wellness of the member, and we also build plans that are physician friendly too. So, being able to get the lab work done in the doctor's office, and often we forget about the physicians in the hospitals, and it really sometimes plans might be able to make things very difficult for a physician. What we try to do is make things friendly for the physicians, and whenever the doctors need to talk to someone, whether it's a utilization review issue or an authorization, that they can get a physician on the phone to talk to, and so it's. Hey,
Billy, do you have a few more minutes?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let me take a quick break, and I'm gonna come back. I got a couple other questions I ask. People can call in if they want to ask you a question real quick. 844-766-6607 on the Hickson Hazard Hotline. I'll keep you one more segment because somebody may have a question out there for you as well. They can email me moon@moongriffon.com. But I had some questions come in. I want to ask you real quick, and we'll get back. I'll let you go. Billy Justice, of course, with Vantage Health Plan. We'll be right back. Hi, hello, welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. Great to have you with us. 844-766-6607, Hickson Hazard Hotline. One more small segment with Billy Justice, who is the Marketing Sales Director for Vantage Health Plan. Hey, Billy, couple quick questions. The dental you keep talking about. I've never seen dental come with health care. Is that for everybody, adults and everything? Is it for no extra cost? And what does that include?
Yeah, most of the plans we have, we offer the bite wing X-rays and the cleanings.
Uh-huh.
We offer that. Many of the physicians felt like we needed to make sure our members had their teeth cleaned for medical reasons, getting plaque off the teeth and that type of stuff. So those are covered. But then also some of our plans, you can buy extra dental for it, but like for state employees right now, there's some comprehensive dental that's inside of the policy.
Uh-huh.
It covers fillings, extractions, root canals,
wow.
Your general dentistry services, and it's no extra premium.
Okay. Now let me ask you this question because there's another question I got. When you get into a plan like that, is it going to be just certain doctors that you can use, or you pick whoever you want to, or how does that normally work? So people will know.
Well, we have we have the Vantage network of physicians, and throughout the state,
Okay.
I would say we probably have about 85% of the physicians participating with Vantage. Most of the major hospitals participate with us. We've just added a substantial network in the Lake Charles area, so that for those that are in the Medicare Advantage arena, we already had a good network for commercial and state group employees, but those that have Medicare now, we have a really good network in the Lake Charles area.
Okay.
And added several physicians in the hospital down there, so we look really, really good in the Lake Charles area too.
Do y'all try to get as many doctors to buy in as possible? I say buy in, but
Absolutely.
participate.
Yeah. There's we want the physicians. Vantage was started by physicians, and we've been primarily owned by physicians, so they have a big voice in how our products work and how we treat providers. So obviously we won't, if you're a provider out there and you're not contracted currently with Vantage, we encourage you to give us a call and talk to us. We have several programs that are shared savings type programs that there's incentives, and Medicare really likes this, where you're paying on the quality of care, not the quantity of care, and it's really, really good deal for the physicians, especially those that day in and day out, which most physicians do, practice really good medicine and take good care of their patients.
Yeah, most of the insurance still provided by employers?
On the commercial side, most people are covered by their employer. We do have a substantial number of small self-employed people who go through the exchange or buy individual off the exchange too. But most people have commercial coverage through their employer.
Yeah, and I knew that number was up there, but and you've been doing this for a long time, and when Obamacare came along, a lot of things changed, and then Trump came in and they took away some things and changed some things, and so that's why I was wondering if it was still that the employer is how employees get their coverage. Still, the biggest part of it is through the employers. Yeah,
that the Obamacare thing was probably the biggest double-edged sword that I've seen in my 23 years. There would be many, many cases where there were just extra burdens and extra costs that was put on an employers and individuals. But then the flip side of that, there were many people who had pre-existing conditions who could not get coverage. They had to go through the state pool, which was very, very expensive and didn't cover much. They were able to get a really good plan at no extra cost because of their medical conditions. And then there were those that fell within certain incomes who never could be able to afford individual policy.
You're going to laugh when I say this, but you know my situation. Yeah. I fall in every one of them. I was an individual. Yeah. I was in individual business, which made it awful tough. We talked about that. I've called you many times. And on the flip side, I got a special need child, and I want my daughter to be covered. And she's always been covered. Yeah. And so you're right. I was all over. I was every case you named, I'm in that one. I know it's funny, but I'm every one. So it kind of affected me big time.
But there were also people that have incomes, household incomes at certain levels. They didn't get any extra help. Their premiums went through the roof, and I think you and I talked about that. I think you fell into that category too. So
I did. I fell in every one of them.
I could have one appointment come in, and it would really, really help them. And people would leave crying. They couldn't believe they actually had health insurance. And then I'd have to go sit with an employer who I'm giving a 15 to 20% increase, or someone like yourself, and then I would just get wore out. So it was every day I didn't know what was coming. I'm thinking, man, I hope we get a couple of good ones, but it was such a seesaw. But I think the market's kind of smoothing out a little bit, and hopefully things get better. And
Billy, real quick,
plans.
Give out how to get in touch with y'all one more time.
VantageHealthPlan.com. Go there, contact us, or you can dial our 800 number 888-823-1910.
Billy, I got to go. We're going to do it again in a couple of weeks.